Hello everybody, it is Connor and we are back here with my 5 greatest Leeds moments. This is something I wanted to do for a while, and a quick shout out to Jake Martin, who asked me on the Tube Sphere if I'd do this video. It got 7 likes, so I thought, go on then Jake, I'll do it for you buddy. So let's get into it. Now guys, number 1, quite frankly, has to be Harry versus Roma. This is one of my all-time favourite moments. And this might confuse a lot of you guys, but literally Harry Kewell was one of my favourite people growing up. He was an absolute legend. He was the coolest guy in football. And the amount of goals he used to score, Sheffield Wednesday, Roma, Villa, all these world-class goals that he used to score, they just blew my mind when I was a kid growing up, and he was my hero. He was the icon. I hate what he's done, but back in the day, he was an absolute legend, and I loved everything about him. But this goal against Roma, it epitomised everything that Kewell was about. It was just a world-class strike. It was the coolness of the celebration. It was just everything encompassed. It was firing Leeds into the quarterfinals of the UEFA Cup. O'Leary's babes going forward. It was unbelievable. Listen, I wasn't there on the night. I was too young. I think I'd have been about 7, 8 years old. But I remember jumping around my living room, and it was an incredible moment to be a Leeds fan. It was a great time to be a Leeds fan. And for those who haven't experienced those UEFA Cup nights, those Champions League nights, I do feel sorry for you, because those nights were absolutely incredible, and hopefully they will return again. But I just remember so many great things about this goal. I remember Alfie Haaland marauding forward, battling away. I remember Bacca and Bowyer linking up perfectly. And I just remember Bacca playing this lovely ball on the outside of the box to Harry Kewell, gets it out of his feet, first touch out, and then it was the second touch. Listen, it should have been saved. It was a decent strike, but it should have been saved. But it just kissed the bar and went in. And everything afterwards, the noise, the celebration, Kewell on his knees, getting mobbed by McPhail, Haaland, Gary Kelly. It was an unbelievable moment. Ellen Road erupted, and that's got to be one of my favourite moments being a Leeds United fan. Well guys, my number 2, my second ever greatest Leeds United moment, but probably bears no surprise to a lot of you. It's Mark VIDUKA 4, Liverpool 3. Leeds United and Liverpool were battling for that 3rd and 4th position for about 3 years. It was which club was going to take it to the next level. And obviously, consequently, Leeds weren't able to do that. But this game was absolutely fantastic. My first ever Leeds United game. I just remember glorious sunshine, me getting a Coca-Cola on the way down to the stadium, Leeds fans everywhere. And it was just a great atmosphere. Heading into the ground, I was sitting in the Kop, and I just remember being, 7, 8 years old, soaking up the atmosphere. The game started. It was frantic already. Leeds were completely on the back foot, and 2 set pieces completely opened up Leeds United. Gary Mack got the second, played the second ball in. Ziegler knocked it in, but the first one, Patrick Berger knocked it in. Hippier finished it off. Leeds 2-0 down straight away. But there was a real fight in Leeds that day, and there was a fight in the O'Leary babes. There really was. There was a belief that they were one of the top teams in England at that point. Alan Smith charges down Ziegler. The ball deflects to the big man in the middle. Mark VIDUKA chips the goalkeeper. 2-1. Leeds are back in it. And I just remember a roar, an absolute roar around all 4 sides of Ellen Road. We're back in it. We're back in it against Liverpool in this huge game. Gerard Houllier talking before the game about what a massive game it was in both teams' season. And then I remember Super Gary Kelly running down the wing, crossing the ball in. VIDUKA, bang! 2-2. Leeds are back in it. Smith jumps over VIDUKA whilst tearing his top off. I just remember it not saying VIDUKA anymore. It said VIKA, I think, instead of VIDUKA. And there was questions actually at the time of him having to get a shirt change to keep with the compliance of the Premiership at the time. But VIDUKA scores. And then I just remember, I'll always remember this, I just remember watching the South Stand and Smeets are scoring. And to be fair, the limbs from the Liverpool fans were absolutely unbelievable. 3-2, and you thought that's game over. I was thinking, this is it. This is it. My first game, Leeds have lost to Liverpool. Brilliant game. And I've been treated to a spectacle. But in the dying embers, towards the last 20, 30 minutes, Leeds started gathering momentum. And a lovely, lovely ball into Mark VIDUKA, which was difficult to control, as it always was with the big man, because he was just majestic, a magician at everything he did. I always battered Leeds fans for calling him lazy. It doesn't matter if he's lazy. He's luxurious. He's absolutely lovely. He's a brilliant player for Leeds United. He traps the ball, Cruyff turn, 2 touches, drills it into the bottom corner, 3-3, pandemonium at Ellen Road. And then the last bit, question of offside, Decor drills it in, the big man traps it again with his left foot, and then dinks another one over the Liverpool goalkeeper. Jamie Carragher despairs, hand in the air, tries to clear it off the line. And I remember Carragher saying after that game, you just couldn't get near to VIDUKA. You got too close to him, he'd spin you. You have a little bit off him, he's going to pass it out wide, get into the box, nod it in. He was unplayable at times, Mark VIDUKA. My favourite ever Leeds player, and that is the game that I fell in love with the big man. So that is my second ever greatest Leeds United moment. Now everybody, my third greatest moment was a little bit of a sombre one for Leeds United. Leeds crashed out of the playoff semi-finals, I should say, in League One to Millwall, a running rivalry which probably still runs today, to be quite frank with you. But Leeds established this rivalry with Millwall, being in the lower leagues of the English tier. And listen, we'd had a lot of battles with them over the years, notably a 4-2 win at Ellen Road, where it was absolute chaos from moment 1 to moment 90. It was also chaos off the pitch. But yeah, this running rivalry with Millwall was summed up really in this playoff campaign that we had. Leeds had been down to the Den and lost 1-0. I believe it was Harris who scored, who always seemed to score against Leeds United. We always lost down at Millwall. We've got a terrible record down there, even with Marcelo Bielsa. So it wasn't a happy hunting ground for Leeds United, but the cauldron that is Ellen Road when it gets going. Millwall came back up and everybody thought Leeds were going to overturn that 1-0 deficit. Of course we were the best team, in my opinion, in the division that season. So it was a great start to the game. You know, Fabian Delph there was a great save by David Ford, another great save from Jermaine Beckford. Leeds were definitely the stronger team throughout the 45, forcing saves, forcing defensive mistakes as well from the Millwall back line. And then we managed to break through early on in the second half, a nudge on Sam Sodji. Yes, Sam Sodji. For all you OGs in the game, you'll know about Sam Sodji, an absolute colossus in the Leeds United defence for about 10 games in League One. Was nudged in the back, and who stepped up? Jermaine Beckford. You're thinking, here we go. This is going to be 1-0 to Leeds United. We've got so much more time to be able to develop on this game, to win the game, to send Leeds to the final and get back into the Championship. No, Beckford misses the penalty. The anxiety goes through the roof. There's about 40 Millwall fans in the cheese wedge because that's all they were allowed up. That just signifies the intensity between the two clubs. Millwall fans go absolutely nuts, and the tension, everybody, is palpable. It's vicious in the ground. Leeds United are baying for a goal. And then who steps up? Ben Parker, the youngster, drills the ball in. And who's there to finish it off? The League One legend, the Leeds United legend, you have to say, Luciano Becchio. And why this is one of my favourite moments is because of the noise. I have never, ever, ever heard a noise like that at Ellen Road. League One, semi-finals against our rivals. The noise was incredible. I just remember at one point there was kids around me blocking their ears, and we were in the West Stand, everybody, which is notable for not being as atmospheric as the other stands in the ground. And I remember it was the noise was absolutely deafening. It was party time at Ellen Road, and then we started going on the offensive. Leeds were all over Millwall, but Millwall got a lucky breakaway, and the heartbreaker that is Jimmy Abdu knocked Leeds United out of the playoffs. Listen, it was an incredible moment, that Becchio goal, so that lodges in as number 3. Well, guys, quite simply, number 4 has to be Pablo Hernandez's goal versus Swansea for me. The world stood still watching that P-roller go into the bottom corner, but the magician made it happen, as he always frequently did for Leeds United. 175 games, 41 assists and 36 goals. An absolute key figure in Leeds United's promotion charge and a key figure in Leeds United's history, really now. A living legend for Leeds United. That moment will always live in the memory for me. I know a lot of people will say, what about the moment, Connor, with West Brom when we went 1-0 up inside 30 seconds? And whilst that was an incredible moment, this one seemed pivotal, and it was pivotal. Leeds United had almost done it, hadn't they? They'd almost done it at this point. Swansea were a good side that year, you know, Mark Guehi, Conor Gallagher, RU. They were comprised of a lot of very, very good assets that were able to hurt Leeds United. And normally these were games in the past where Leeds had really struggled. The pressure was on. We spoke about Millwall earlier, didn't we? But the pressure was on. Were Leeds going to fold, or were we going to go down there and get an absolutely iconic win? Well, we went down there, and not only did we keep a clean sheet, but it was almost it was almost symbolic of everything Leeds United had done. You know, Swansea were out on their legs by the end of the game. Luke Ayling charged down the wing and a ball inwards, and the ball immediately fell to Pablo Hernandez. One touch out and then a P-roller in. You know, that's all he needed to do to beat Freddie Woodman in goal. And I just remember like going absolutely balmy. I was in my flat in Sheffield, going absolutely nuts, getting noise complaints here, there and everywhere, east, north, west and south. But I didn't care, you know. I remember just flinging my girlfriend around. I remember jumping on the sofa. I just remember screaming down the corridor, going absolutely nuts, because I knew at that point we'd done it. We'd absolutely done it. So it was a weird one because we weren't there to celebrate, but I just remember that moment. That moment will always stand out as one of my favourite ever Leeds United moments. And I just, as I've said, I wish we were there, but Pablo Hernandez, you have to go in at number 4, sir. Guys, coming in at number 5 as well to round off, it was one of my favourite ever moments. Jermaine Beckford's goal against Bristol Rovers, an absolutely chaotic game. Bristol Rovers starting in 17th position, and as I've spoken about, Leeds United never do it the easy way. 17th position in League One. Leeds just needed a win. We just needed a win to get promoted. We'd already screwed up being the champions. We dropped a whole host of points after beating Manchester United. Manchester United at Old Trafford, it seemed to go downhill from that point. Leeds started dropping points at Exeter. Leeds started dropping points at other grounds. But it was just an incredible moment. The game, I was there. It was once again the energy was unbelievable inside Ellen Road. 40,000 fans baying for promotion, and then it all went wrong. You know, Bristol Rovers scored. Max Gradle was sent off for a moment of madness, and you're thinking they're going to do it. We're actually going to throw this away. Surely not. Surely we're not going to throw this away after all of this, after everything we've been through, all the great moments with such a fantastic team. Beckford, Becchio, Howson, Johnson, Snodgrass, Gradle. You know, it was a team makeup ready for the championship. And there were a lot of good teams in League One that year, a lot of good teams. And Norwich and Charlton were very, very good teams. But there were others in there as well, which were causing Leeds problems. Millwall, another notable addition to League One that season. And Leeds were struggling towards the back end. We had no form. And then off the bench comes Mr. Leeds United at the time, Johnny Howson. You know, why he started on the bench, I'll never know. But it was a fantastic finish, curled it round the keeper, and the noise was unbelievable. And we all believed at that point that Leeds were going to do it. You know, Leeds were going to do it. It doesn't matter how many men we had on the pitch, we were going to get there. We were going to get roared on. The crowd weren't going to be the 11th, 12th, 13th. They were going to be the rest. They were going to be the 20s up into the 30s man. And just everybody around me was just fantastic, you know, in terms of encouraging the team. And Beckford, you know, a shot charged down from Johnson, Beckford, then pandemonium. Ellen Road is unique when it's like that, you know, and I was there for that moment. An absolutely superb moment in my life and in Leeds United's history. So guys, that's been it. I hope you've enjoyed it. My 5 greatest moments being a Leeds United fan. I'm going to do loads more of these. I feel it's quite unique to the channel as well. We've done 5 greatest things before. So make sure you check out all the good stuff. Get your suggestions in the comment section below of what next you would like to see on the channel. As I say, it's a community vibe here on One Leeds, and I'd be really interested to hear what you have thought of this one. If you've enjoyed it, as I said, make sure you hit the like. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in a bit.